This is Brickhead Boy Toy Reviews. I got my packages from Aliexpress. Of course, these are bought from two different sellers. However, the brand is unclear because these are both MOCs. So this one here, about $42. This one here was 50 something. I forget how much exactly, but box is damaged. I like this custom box. Instructions are PDF on file, so no physical instructions. This one does have some physical instructions, and looks like there's no minifigs either. Let's get to it. And here are the sets complete. Here's your all-terrain Mecha tank, 534 pieces, along with your extra pieces. And here, Mecha Fighting Warfare tank. And this has unspecified number of pieces, does not say. Here are your extra pieces, and I was missing a few pieces. Namely, I was missing a bar, a 3X bar. And a couple of these, which I got for my Lego collection to add on there. So no problem really, since I have backup. So the blocks feel generic, to say the least. It's kind of hard to tell what kind of blocks these are, whether they're Kogo or Wuma. They're pretty good blocks. However, the building technique on this is good, but they don't hold so well because a few of these structural parts are only held by one stud, so this does fall apart easily. This one here is more solid, and I like the looks better. Since these do not have minifigs, I will supplement these with some fake Lego minifigs. Let's look at this first. Starting with this tank, it reminds me of a Halo Scorpion and a Red Alert Mammoth combined, but smaller. And this is quite a small tank, smaller than I thought. And building it, I'm a little bit disappointed, but it looks good. You do have a quad track and appears to be an engine on the back here. You do have, of course, your cannon and some side missiles. You do have your smoke dispensers on the sides. The tank is quite posable as well, even though I really do not like this look. But it does have a function. You can even spread the sides out like this. Utilizes rubber tracks, and let's test it out. It does roll, but when you do, sides tend to flare out. Let's see if the cannon can rotate, or the turret can rotate, and yes, it can. However, it is kind of loose. Check out the cannon. Up, yes. Down, no. You do have these side missiles that can position in different angles. You do have a couple hatches in front which are not usable, but you do have one on the turret that can open. And let's use our sample minifigs. There's your minifig, and you do have a secondary weapon here. Or a third weapon, maybe these are secondary weapons. And then you have that, so this has a lot of weapons. Let's take out the turret, see what it looks like, and that's pretty much the body of the tank. It uses studs not on top technique, so kind of clever. There's other things you can do too, like lift these up, not too exciting. So all in all, it looks pretty good to me. Let's take a look at the other tank. Here's the other tank, and this, I am afraid, is going to fall apart by just breathing on it or even sneezing. Looking at the back of the tank, you do have your grill for the engine. And let's take a look first before we start dissecting this thing. The antennas are kind of messed up, of course. And there's a few pieces that are not so attached well. Like, example, this really falls apart really easy. Clutch power is off, kind of weak. There are some smoke grenade launchers on the side, and you do have a turret that can rotate somewhat. You just got to be careful, but it does pretty much a 360. And your cannon, can it go up without damaging or the vehicle being destroyed? Yes. And down. There's a secondary weapon on top. You have a machine gun and a couple hatches. Using our sample soldiers, let's put them on. And there. So let's take off the turret and inspect it. So that's what it looks like. You can see the mid fixing come through the inside of the tank and out the hatches. And over here, let's open this up, and you do have an engine. Another way to access is opening this. And inside, there's an interior, and you could actually lay a soldier down on there. I am missing one, actually these black pieces on there. Not a big deal, but I forgot about that. And you cannot actually make these sides level. This is as far down as it goes unless you put them sideways like this, and really fragile because it's just held by these two studs right here. And as I was building, this whole section came off, all four of these, so it was kind of frustrating. Another bad thing too is this back section isn't really held that well, so it does, that came off. So this, telling you right now, this is very fragile, so this piece here comes off really easy. So I don't blame the blocks, I blame the construction technique, which should have used reinforcements, but other than that, could have been better. Forgot to mention if it rolls or not, and yes, it rolls pretty good because there's no tracks, just wheels. Lastly, you do have some ammunition on the back, which is a nice feature. So now time to conclude this review. So I'm not sure what to call these fake Lego MOCs. This one here is pretty decent, a little spendy. This one here, I do not recommend. It is, I spent $50 plus, very fragile. It does have some nice interior and details, but it just falls apart way too easy. And I like the looks of this better. So final word, if you really like what you see, then go for it. But if not, I do not recommend any of these, with the exception of the one to the left. More basic, I would just use the instructions to make it out of actual Lego. For a better option, Slewband has a much better looking tank, and only $30 plus. That's 40, that's 50. So I'd go for the Slewband one. Much more detail and is bigger, and a lot more sturdy too. So this is Brickhead Boy. Thanks for watching.